You know the old saying that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery? Well, humor me for a second. Imagine you're in grade school and you say something that gets you in trouble, and a month later another student says pretty much the exact same thing and gets elected president of the student council. You'd be pretty pissed about that, right? Well,
Come on, man.
Vice President Kamala Harris gave Guatemalans a stern talking to the other day, and it sounded a lot like some people, I can't remember exactly who, said eerily similar things, and not all that long ago either. You know, come to think of it, yeah, it was Trump. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me one more time for Things That Need to Be Said, if the big tech powers that be actually allow you to see this. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis. Before I begin, I just want to thank all of you for coming to see our videos on Rumble. Alternative platforms are really beginning to make a dent because for the first time, my video was watched more on Rumble than it was on YouTube last week. So thank you to those of you that are watching on both Rumble and YouTube. But let's make the difference between the two even greater. Subscribe to our Rumble channel. Now, on with the show. So a lot of you might have seen Kamala Harris speak in Guatemala on Monday and basically tell Guatemalans thinking of making the long journey, contributing to the flood of people at the U.S. border, to kick rocks.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
Now that sounds pretty similar to someone else we know, doesn't it?
I am telling the caravans, the criminals, the smugglers, the trespassers marching toward our border, turn back now because you are not getting in.
Now let's compare the coverage that both Trump and Harris received. After Trump's comments, he received headlines like this from Slate: "Why Trump doesn't care about House Republicans. The president's incessant caravan bashing is hurting the GOP's chances of keeping the House. That's fine by him." Yeah, because a leftist rag like Slate really cared about Trump hurting the GOP. ABC News: "Central American migrants in caravan responded to President Trump calling them criminals. Quote, this is propaganda." And if anyone knows anything about propaganda, it's the elitist establishment media. Vox: 8 lessons from psychology that explain Trump's caravan fear-mongering. I mean, it's Vox. Who knows? Maybe NBC will bail him out again. And of course, CNN. Trump is trying to whip up fear about the browning of America. The browning of America? These journalists and media outlets are just so overtly racist. They were and still are the ones saying that racist crap, not Trump, but they're too stupid to understand that. These are people, CNN, not Jimmy Dean's sausages. The browning of America. Now let's take a look at the coverage Harris received. CNN merely pointed out that Socialist Mensa member Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called out Harris over her comments so that it looked like Ocasio-Cortez is bashing Harris and not them. Oh yeah, they only posted a video in which they sourced themselves. Couldn't even write an article on it because even they know they'd look like even more of a propaganda outlet if they gave her a pass, which they basically did by focusing on the AOC angle. Silence is violence, right, CNN? Just go. ABC News: Harris defends telling migrants do not come, not visiting U.S.-Mexico border. Wait, how come ABC didn't interview migrants who might have been upset this time around when Harris said basically the same thing Trump said? It's funny how that works. As for Slate, well, they glossed over Harris's comments and actually interviewed a writer from another leftist propaganda outlet, The Atlantic, to examine whether all of Harris's incompetence could be blamed on Biden. Biden doesn't even know what day it is. You really think, at least at this point in his career, that he has the aptitude to set up Harris? No, that's a job for the people running his administration. Susan Rice. And Vox published a piece downplaying Harris's comments, essentially telling migrants to show up at the border anyway. Nothing like telling a group of people to risk their lives migrating to a country that, if anything Harris said has a grain of truth, won't accept them once they arrive. Really humanitarian of you, Vox. So we can see the double standard that we always knew existed, but with comments from two completely ideologically different people being so similar, it was just much easier to prove. And before I go, I just gotta show you this little nugget of stupid from President Harris.
Come on, man.
Sorry, I keep doing that. Vice President Harris.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Okay, first, what the hell does having been to Europe have to do with anything? That would be like saying that I'm in charge of Major League Baseball, being asked whether I'm going to a game anytime soon, and responding by saying, I haven't been to a football game.
What?
Second, Lester Holt, who I couldn't believe asked a challenging question, didn't ask whether Harris was downplaying the border situation. He asked whether she was going to the border, which, if you paid attention to the clip a minute ago, she still never actually answered. But must be nice to work in a far-left government where the accountability they're constantly screeching about apparently doesn't apply to them. So, am I reaching here? Were these things that needed to be said and pointed out? Let me know in the comments, where I do read most and reply to some. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Rumble. If you like this video, don't forget to comment, share, and give it a thumbs up. Those are the best ways to help these videos reach more people, and it's the best way to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube might actually let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video if they haven't censored it or taken it down yet. And don't forget to check out more of our work at MRCTV.org. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.